Are you looking for a perfect plan that will make you fluent and get you to that C2 English level in 6 months? Well, in this video, I will share with you my realistic English learning journey from start to finish. I will answer questions like how I started learning English, what challenges I faced and how I overcame them, and how I reached C2 level. If you don't know, my name is Asim Khan. I can speak Pashto, Urdu, Hindi, and English is my fourth language. I started learning English as a kid in school. Here in Pakistan, English is taught as a subject in almost all of the schools. We were learning things like sentence structures, grammar, noun, pronoun, and all of that stuff. Our teacher would come to the class, he would write and explain a grammar topic, and then he would leave. The problem was that we did not practice speaking. That's why I could not speak. I could not even introduce myself in English. Yes, I could write simple sentences and I could understand grammar, but when it came to speaking, I would get stuck. I could not make sentences off the top of my head. I would start translating in my head. I could not make sentences even after studying English grammar for 5 years. That's why the first lesson for you is don't study grammar rules. I'm not saying don't learn grammar, I'm saying don't study grammar. There is a difference between these two. When you meet an American native English speaker, they speak with perfect grammar, but they have not studied it. They learned English grammar through consuming English a lot as a kid. They know which sentence is correct and which one is wrong, and that's all you need to speak English fluently. You don't need to memorize all 17 types of nouns. Anyways, when I got fed up from learning all these grammar rules and still could not speak, I thought to myself, there must be another way of learning English because obviously studying grammar is not working for me. So what should I do? One day I got home from school, I changed my clothes, I opened my laptop, and on YouTube I searched how to learn English language. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on this topic, but I particularly watched one video that changed my learning process. It was from a channel called English with Lucy. In that video, she said, if you want to become fluent in English, don't study grammar. Instead, make English a part of your life. That video was like an aha moment for me. I was like, oh, so that's why my English is not improving. I'm following the wrong method. When I discovered that, I started making English a part of my life. One thing I particularly did was I started watching YouTube in English. Before I was watching YouTube videos in Urdu mostly, but then I said to myself, okay, from now on I'm going to watch YouTube videos in English, no matter how hard it is. Even if I don't understand, I'm just gonna keep watching YouTube videos in English. And that's what I did. In the beginning, the auto subtitles on YouTube helped me a lot in terms of understanding. At that point in my learning journey, I was super excited. I felt like I discovered a hack. This method was actually working. My English was actually improving day by day. But then, a really big problem came up. By consuming and watching a lot of YouTube videos in English, I got to a point where I would understand everything completely. I would understand every video I would watch 100%. But when I would try to speak, I would get stuck all the time. I would feel nervous and shy. I had this language barrier. I knew what to say in my mind, but I just couldn't say that thing through my mouth. I couldn't express my ideas that I had in my head. To overcome this problem, I did something really special. Have you ever heard this quote that says, if you're afraid of doing something, just do that thing again and again and you will stop being afraid of it. I did exactly the same. I was afraid of speaking English because I thought others would laugh at me. I was feeling shy and nervous. But still, I put myself in uncomfortable situations. Still, I practiced speaking more. I made some online friends on platforms like Free for Talk. I would talk with them for hours and hours to improve my speaking in order to get rid of that fear of other people's opinions. My friends would give me feedback. They would point out my mistakes and I would correct them. By the way, feedback is super important. Without that, I couldn't have achieved C2 level. After continuing to practice my speaking every day for 3 months, I became fluent in English. This was a huge milestone for me because a few months before that, I couldn't speak a word. I couldn't even introduce myself in English. But then I was fluent. It was a great achievement for me. I was so happy about it. But still one thing was missing. I was not at C2 level. Yes, I could talk about things fluently, but I couldn't talk about difficult topics like politics or religion or having debates about certain topics. Also, I couldn't use advanced expressions, words, and idioms. I had to expand my vocabulary so that I could talk about whatever I wanted to talk about without getting stuck. So I started learning advanced words, idioms, and expressions. I would learn a few of those every single day. I would write them in a small notebook that I have. I would review them and use them in my conversations. You have to use a word like 5 to 10 times before it permanently becomes a part of your vocabulary. That's why I would only learn a few new words each day, but I would repeat them again and again in my conversations so that I don't forget them. Repetition is key when it comes to learning and remembering vocabulary, or basically anything. Expanding my vocabulary really took my English to the next level. It didn't take that long. After a few months of learning new and advanced words, idioms, and expressions, I got to that C2 level. One thing I would say is that becoming advanced in English does not mean that you will never make mistakes. Mistakes are possible. Everybody makes them. Native speakers make mistakes sometimes. I make them, other people make them. The whole point of being at C2 English level is that you can talk about any topic fluently and confidently without getting stuck, and also speaking in a way so that others understand you. Another thing that really took my English to the next level very fast is teaching it to other people. Whether it's teaching through videos like I'm doing right now or teaching it in a classroom, you're not only helping others, but also you're finding new ways of learning, which in and of itself will improve your English. I'm speaking from experience. If you go to my channel and you scroll down all the way and you watch my first video, you will see that my English was very embarrassing back then, but I kept making videos. I kept teaching it to others and it improved my English. Now my videos are a lot better. I'm not saying just start teaching for the sake of improving your English. Of course, there are other methods to improve your English too, but if you love teaching like I do, if you love sharing your ideas and you have a passion for it, then start doing it. It's so much fun. Many of my students ask me, Asim, I'm not seeing any progress. My English is not improving. I'm not sure if I'll become fluent. I had these doubts as well at different points in my learning journey. I felt like nothing was working. I had thoughts about giving up. One lesson that really helped me in those moments of self-doubt was that have fun and be patient. When I understood this and started applying it, everything changed. My whole perspective changed. Rather than focusing on this goal of reaching C2 English level, I started enjoying the process. I made learning English fun for me. One way I did that was by watching animes in English, and I love anime, so it was really nice. Second, I made some cool friends from different countries. We would laugh, we would have conversations about interesting topics. I was never worried about reaching advanced level in English. It just happened due to the fact that I was putting in a lot of hours because I was enjoying the process and it didn't feel like work. When you have those moments when you feel like you're not seeing any progress, just remember that the graph of learning a language is not steady. It's not like this. Instead, it's like this. You learn something, everything is going great, you're enjoying the process, and then you face a challenge. You feel like you want to quit. And right at that moment, you start seeing some progress, you start seeing results, and then again you face a challenge. So it's like this always. It's not steady. If you feel this pressure of getting to C2 level in English, just start enjoying the process and you will get there eventually. Now, if you want to just improve your speaking skills really fast, then watch this video in which I talked about how to speak English like a pro in the next 90 days, in just 3 months. Watch this video, you will learn something important from it. Alright, see you next time. Bye bye.